in the lion den, unless the wolf outside your door, unless the gun pointing at you, and it could be a state-sponsored gun, it could be a bandit gun, and it could be a bandit holding a state-sponsored gun, or it could be a state-paid official functioning as a bandit for tonight. All of those are options. All of those are options. Don't lose sight of the reality. Raise your hand but never surrender. Raise your hand but never surrender. Raise your hand but never surrender. This is really done. Raise your hand but never surrender. Put up your hand but never surrender. Raise your hand but never surrender. How will you find? Raise your hand but never surrender. Raise your hand but never surrender. Raise your hand but never surrender. This is really done. Your Prime Minister jumped out himself today, and he is judge, jury, and Lord High Executioner. The man watching Game of Thrones, he who casts judgment must swing the sword. No problem. No problem at all. Hey, man. Mano, mano. Do your thing, brother. You know what you're doing. When Keith Sobian dragged Glenn Ashby out the jail cell, I post a mango today. People doesn't know, you know. I always have a reason for these things I post, you know. Somebody was like, shut up. When Keith Sobian dragged Glenn Ashby out of the jail cell and hung him, he hanged him extrajudiciously. Hanged him extrajudiciously. He didn't have the legal authority because there were matters pending in the court. But they showed that if the state want you dead, the state could dead you. The state could dead you, and people will justify your death. Now, don't get me wrong. They have a law in Texas. I have heard, I cannot say for sure. Any of my friends who are in Texas, live in Texas, if you're on the live, if this is true, tell me. They have a law that say he needed killing, so he could dead. Watch now. I am doing this live video, and all the people who should be concerned on a corner, stand up on a pavement with a beer bottle in their hand, posing and pipsing. As we pose and pips, as we. And when shit hit the fan by you finding Phil, put us on blast now. Phil, light this up. I's not the blast newspaper, and I's not the deck. Stop sending me things to put on blast and to light up. That's not my work. That's not my work. I choose what I want to light up. A man threatened me on Facebook today for my own good. Take down a picture. I said, brother, tell me where not to come, so I will come there and save you the gas money. It ain't no all threatening to kill me. I don't like that at all. But come now, man, careful, all you don't dig pit and fall in them on yourself. I think God have me here for as long as he need me. So touch not God's anointed. Don't come on my wall and threaten me, because I'm really not in for that bullshit, and I'm not taking that. Dave Locks, come now, man, you know the drill. Reboot, refresh, go and change your deodorant. Listen, the Prime Minister had no business in that conversation. But like Faris and Stuart Young, he think he could stunt on this. But he had to remember something. There's going to come a time in this country, somebody sent me a message, and I can't remember what it was, so I can't find it now to tell you. But people wake up, brother. They may vote in black again. They may vote in Indian again. People willing to take a chance now. And I'm telling you that. And we coming at you hard. When they say meet we outside brother. We here. We done outside. This ain't no stunt. We here. We outside. Not pipsing, not posing. We politicking. We giving the country a choice. People say they can't see messages on their phone, so I don't know what to tell you. But that is them playing in the ass. Wait till after then. Watch the video and read the messages after. Everyone forget Petrotrin. No, we ain't forget Petrotrin. Everybody pipsing and posing. Petrotrin was never an issue. We're a shit talk country. In Trinidad and Tobago, we had to be on with deathbed. Bullet had a hit me for, oh shit, that's what they was talking about. You had lost your job and reaching the grocery, and the grocery man kicking you outside the door because they were taking pips and pose for grocery money. And then you will say, oh shit, this is what Philip and them was talking about. Lyndon Mack, you and I had a conversation. Don't use my wall to pose and you would stark on them. You see that bullshit? Pick pick your side, brother. Because my mouth hot like a pepper. And all those who bad in Tobago, stay in Tobago. Don't be all over the place and coming on my wall to pips and pose too. Choose your side. I'm seeing all you and I'm watching all you. And here's the last of the offenders. And I'm waiting for you to decide because Trinidad's nowhere is long time I dealing with you and a long rope. You, I don't know what's your role. If you just using everybody to try and establish your own self, that they have nowhere for that to go. But back on this. Put up your hand but never surrender. Why not just fix it? Let me have the jackass talk. Well, they know I'm in a mood. It's a Friday. Prime Minister is acting irregular negotiating. I'm not my business partner. Tobagonians know how to march. Tobagonians have shoes and slippers. Let him open 5 sandals in all your ass. Good for all you. THA, we ready. Watch my body say. Take jam. All you vote for that. I could say that. UNC can't tell all of that. I could tell you that. All you vote for that shit. Tobago had options. Tobago had options. Tobago had Christian Moore and had Ho Choi Charles. Tobago had options. More options than Trinidad. Tobago had options. All you vote for that. All you slap Robbie in the face and vote for that. All you make joke about Pamela Nicholson, this Peachy Ben, and vote for that nastiness. You vote for nastiness in Tobago. Take your nastiness. Don't give me no talks tonight. Tobago responsible for the condition of Tobago. And if Tobagonians don't know how to shut their own island down, who is me to tell you? Who come and do it for you? Mason Hall, Catman, Ship Kicker, Groomer Man, Pasture Man. He come and shut your country down. He come and shut your whole island down. Come and tell you all they're not bad. THA feed it all like dog food in a bowl. Come and take it and eat what we put out there or haul. And Tobagonians take that. Or they get colonized again. And you who colonize you, all you vote for that. This one wasn't an invasion. This wasn't an Abercrombie and rally. This was people, all you choose. All you choose. Lyndon Mark, I will block you with vigor, you know. Be very cautious if you're taking me on tonight on my wall. I'm not on all your bullshit. Hear me? This is a different mission. This is a stunt artist platform. Come back to the point. Tobagonians are the people to fix Tobago. Tonight, Trinidad can't do nothing until Tobago stand up. It's like Petrochin. And the bandit clan knows this. You see, the bandit clan knows that OWTU stake a line in the sand. The bandit clan knows that Trinidad cannot act on Petrochin until OWTU act on Petrochin. And if you sell out OWTU, well, there's trouble and worries. I watch Kamala and Ram Logan and Devon Mirage waking up judge 2 o'clock in the morning and the media out there with Rhea Rambali here twists from the bed, all of them covering breaking news. The court opened 2 o'clock in the morning because Ram Logan couldn't find a left side of shoes. When opposition lawyers want to make a matter is a matter. And the opposition lawyers say nothing on Petrochin. And it's every time we wile it up, them just come and jump into stunt. Look, we reach. Look, UNC reach. UNC sit down for 2 years of Maxi Coffee and they say boo. Not one freaking word. Nothing. Watch me fight Stuart Young Stunter Man. Watch me fight Pump City Ras Fitzgerald Hines. Watch me fight Rowley and drag the truth out of that jackass. And now Devon Mirage. Look, UNC Rich, we're going on file with the Integrity Commission. Miss you with the bullshit now. And Trinidadians need to wake up. To the little stunter boy who come on my wall to tell me about my own good brother, it is only me fighting for poor people. So if you catch in your ass, you're on the wrong side of the conversation. It's only me. The Black Party, check and see who they for. Stuart Young with a straight face. They can't tell me that with a straight face. Eh? They can't tell me. What's the name of that song? We want that song. We need that song. You gotta make that point. They can't tell me that with a a straight face. Somebody renting gun to make other people ball. Them stunters with them AR-15. Who import it? Who import AR-15 into Trinidad? Stunt boys? Them little stunters from Chumakak. Chumakak have contact in customs to smuggle in automatic weapons in dog food. Come na man.
Somebody gonna take the country far. Somebody putting all the bandits away. He said, if they do the crime, they're going to damn well pay.
But there's certain crime we prosecuted in Trinidad because I asked tonight, you know. All your gallery and 5 cockroach dead, no problem. No problem. Because they could very well be 5 cockroach. I don't know. Rowley know. Rowley know because Rowley went on TV this morning and, well, on radio, or I hear his voice somewhere, and talk about it like he adjudicated already. He adjudicated, so the alleged is no longer alleged. He made bandit. The court was convened, they were prosecuted, executed. 24 hours. That is what you call speedy justice.
Somebody promising a human rights, while somebody threatening to put out their life.
Now if those same gallery warahu hear that police storm a Chamber of Commerce meeting and take out 5 money launderers, I hope they don't mind if it's uncle and family and friend. And when black people start to pose you on Facebook bemoaning policeman, my uncle was a good man, and they're laughing at you. They're laughing at you because it ain't making sense. The same way, you can understand, and I don't understand this about Trinidadians. You know the shit that you and your family doing, but you outside here bigging up what other people doing.
The laundry on with little Trinidad boys. A bullet start to whine and put an end to their joy. Now the line call for the mama to mourn. The Nike gone, the gold deep down. You see they want the pocket full with blue silk. They want the statue drinking full cream milk.
All you out on the pavement in Woodbrook tonight, pipsing and posing with nothing to celebrate. It's like a wedding with no bride and no groom. Plain talk. They have nothing in Trinidad and Tobago that works. Nothing. You could tell yourself where you want. You could fool yourself where you want. In Diego Martin, where I live right now, middle class people marching. You think the stunting bandit clan around Keith Rowley give a shit who marching now? Them fellas taken by grab and go. Them don't care. March. March. Rowley know he's stunt for 5 years. March till he nearly kill UNC people with march. March everywhere you look. TV6 outside here. Tell me, Dr. Rowley, what we marching for today?
The little red silk is not their true friend. The blue one have to extra north on the end. So a tag on the tourists, now they take it to hell.
Well, look where we reach.
Well, I hear a madman born. As he spread out on the wall, he said, this is it, I've been hit. No time to give up, brother, no time to win. The child of a madman, with the steel from a strange land. In this day from a strange land, the child of a madman
It's the only solution. Now tell me this. Stuart Young, Minister of Stunt and Pose, told the nation with a straight face that it is going to be difficult to clear barrels and shipments of aid to the people who lost in the flood. So send money instead. So I bust that mark. This wasn't about money. This wasn't about customs. This wasn't even about the port. This was about the 1% that owns the PNM, that wants you to go and buy cases of water and buy cleaning material and cases of food and fridge and stove and washer and dryer. I see people buying stove for people, buy it from them, they imported it, put a markup, a flood of profit. A flood of profit. I hear Sandals offer the country $1 million, but we give Sandals $2.7 billion. So we give Sandals $2,700 million, and they give me back one. They give me back one. And the media carry that. Look back one of all the millions. We help all there. I'm watching some 1%ers fling out a $500,000. A man fling out a $500,000 in aid. He making $100 million a year in fake contracts. He giving aid. Aid, the man call it aid. I say, well, look where we friggin' reach now, boy. Look where we reach. We reached a country where the Minister of Stunt and Pose, jackass, Stuart Young, could tell the nation that it will be difficult for the government through the state to clear barrels and shipping containers. I tell somebody, I said, Singapore clears more containers, more shipping in an hour than we clear in 2 years. In 1 hour. In 1 hour. Well, Singapore different. How? Singapore born same time as we. Singapore smaller than we. And Singapore ain't had no oil. Singapore didn't get no $3 trillion. So tell me how it making sense to you to rationalize that the government, who has the power, the authority, the budget, and the responsibility to make the port and the customs work, how it is they can't make it work. And you know what's funny? It's the same Stuart Young, who is Minister of Communication, Minister of National Security, Minister of Public Administration, and Minister of Keith Rowley's colon. That Stuart Young runs the Ministry of National Security also. And all of the failure for the flood, all of it, trace right back to Stuart Young. ODPM, National Security. Army, National Security. Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, National Security. Fire Service, Trinidad and Tobago, National Security. And now Customs and Excise, National Security. All of them. Mr. Minus Touch, as you become Minister of National Security, not working. Not working. So it is an impossibility to consolidate and clear. And people buy that. Your Prime Minister tell them, we don't want no money from all you. Because we don't want no aid, but they'll give you money. And you have your little sycophants outside there saying, them went through thing too. These 3 countries had a problem. I say, well, don't take from them. 180 other countries. Take from those who have. We need help. But you all didn't want shipments of food, didn't you? You didn't want that. The same reason why you don't want mango and avocado and breadfruit growing in Trinidad. You don't want it. Because, and these people, boy, these people will sell their mother for money. All they're watching is dollars. Dollars, dollars, dollars. Remember that show they used to have in Trinidad? It was a takeoff on Dallas with Sprang Along and them? And that was the theme song. Dollars, 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 dollars. Ding, 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 ding. That is Trinidad, and that's 30 years ago. That's 30 years ago.
Anyway, you tell somebody chanting to hear. What to hear and we go set you free. Somebody promising natural law. High like a yogi, end all the war. Seek inner peace, end all the pain. The same woman promising to put on again. Somebody promising to run all the bread. Somebody pushing a world-class head. Somebody clean out the weed well fast. But somebody letting the cocaine pass.
In all the years we call him to secure the border, the world has automated the technology to the point you don't even need to put Coast Guard. You don't even need to put Army and Police. They have something called sonar buoys. You could run. You don't even need the 360-degree radar anymore. You could run a ring of sonar buoys around Trinidad and Tobago. And as something come close to it, you could dispatch drones. They have surveillance drones that just equipped with night vision and laser vision and heat sensitive vision, X-ray vision, and you send those drones to supervise and see what it is. And if they're not stopping, if you contact them, and because we could talk to them, this is Trinidad to 3 miles out at sea. We could talk from Earth to the edge of space, so we could talk 3 miles out at sea. And if they're not interested in stopping, they have kill drones. They are kill drones. Those drones' job is to drop a bomb in your ass. That's what those drones do. And if you don't want to stop, so the Coast Guard could put some gas in the engine and come and check you out and see what it is you're really transporting. And we're trying to joke, but it's not a joke. We could fix everything, so why not fix it? Why not secure the borders? Why not fix customs? Why not fix the port? Why not fix the judiciary? Somebody say if you arrest them on Tuesday, they're coming out on Thursday, the judiciary don't work. How hard it is. You could walk from San Fernando to Port of Spain in 12 hours non-stop. How hard is it to fix a judiciary, a court system in a country this small? Why are we playing smart with stupidness? Why? Why are we excusing nonsense and foolishness? Why are you letting a failed prime minister stunt his ass for the media that public funds buying and corrupting? Why? Why are you allowing that? That's taking place in your name. Why?
Somebody promised to abolish the tax. Somebody promised to bury the tax. Somebody promised to clean up the land. But in this clean land, that's still killing man. We bright little youths going to waste. Somebody brings the smile on the face. Somebody take one love off the shelf. Get the wonder boys that will sell out the cell. Somebody going to end all this talk about race.
But they can't tell me that with a straight face. That song play for that line. I play that whole song for that line. Me and David Brother, I mean the words that man sang, we need to compile all of David Brother's lyrics in a book and put it in the university, put it in the school. Use that for literature. Use that the way to construct a thought, critical thinking, put to music. David Brother is a genius. It's a genius. Don't wait till he dead like Shadow. They ain't giving Shadow nothing. Name a peas, Patch and Tobago after him. We are peons, plebs. We are scum. We care about nothing. We don't like nothing. We just like ourselves. We want to screw it, eat it, or kill it. That should have that should be our watchwords. Discipline, tolerance, and production. Miss me with that bullshit. Screw it, eat it, or kill it. That should have to be go. That is us. If we can't screw it, and we can't eat it, kill it. Trinidad and Tobago. You could tell yourself what you want. We could disagree. And we could agree to disagree. But I disagree with that. Because I know that what I'm telling you here is a fact. Nothing that is broken in Trinidad and Tobago can fix. Nothing. And the only reason it can fix is that the jackasses on top who facilitated the 1% who benefited from the condition of it benefit also from you. And the nonsense you speak. And the distraction and the defending of the foolishness. If you defend it, they get away with it. This is a country where if you talk about call the heart thief money, people will jump in the conversation. So what about Ish and Steve? Like Ish and Steve stealing money does anything to deal with the fact that call the heart stole money. Worse, and this is infinitesimally worse. When they say it like, all your thief too, so why we can't thief? As if call the heart, calling your name to the bank and saying, don't forget to include so-and-so for this week's payroll. You have nothing to get. You defending foolishness for free. We defend criminality and lawlessness in this country because it fit in with Wigan. When that dawned on you, I agree with Gary Griffith. If you point a gun at police, prepare to dead. Kill or be killed. It must come down to that. It was inevitably going to come to that. If you point a gun at police, prepare to dead. I have a problem with that. I say it again. Point a gun at police, open fire on police. Well, boy, I don't want to hear the stories about how good you was when you were small. Because somewhere along the way, you lost your way. Somewhere along the way, you became bad. You're not good anymore. So you could have been a good boy at one time. Everybody was. Hitler was a good boy. Hitler used to climb up on his mommy lap and say, goo goo gaga. Mussolini was a good man. Stalin was a good man. Mao Zedong was a good man. Manning at some point. Eric Williams was good men. Pandey, good boys. But didn't become good men. Somewhere along the line, they lost their way. Ish and Steve, Brian Quainton must have been good boys playing. Had to be. Nobody born criminal. Nobody born corrupt. Hafiz Karamat was a good boy. T.N. Ramnath, all of them. The whole Kalu family must be was good little children. Tell me when to stop. Tell me when you get the analogy. Tell me when you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't care about what they was. I care about what you do now. If you have an illegal gun, you should already know you're on the endangered species list. Gary Griffith is not Stephen Williams, you know. I don't ever want to realize yet. Gary Griffith is not Stephen Williams. And Gary Griffith will find in the police service, the police that will do the job. He will find them and reward them, and they will work with him. True talk. I tell you the problem I have with this story, right? Because if I was running the Express, I'd run a story, Dotish bandits shot. You had to be Dotish. Armed police from the interagency task force is at your house. And you open fire on them with a pistol. That is called suicide by cop. If that is true. If that is the truth. Now, I want to also say this. These people who were killed, who died, could have been the scum of the earth. They could easily have been the most criminal, nasty, dirty stink. I have no problem with you having all of that. My problem is that we can't fix this country to the point where if you commit a crime, you'll be arrested and charged, taken to court, prosecuted, convicted, and jailed for your crime. Here we have to say, this don't work, and that don't work, and that fails, so kill them. Because I want to tell you the problem with unleashing hell. A problem with unleashing hell. At some point, you might have to face hell. At some point, that same crab could bite you. At Jason Basanta, what you doing with a M&P 55 or AR-15 or AK-47, I agree. I absolutely agree. But my problem is tonight that them little 5 stunters that dead last night, 10 don't take the place already today in the payroll. 10 don't take the place today. 20 don't take their place today. Because money talks and bullshit walks, and we're not having the conversation. AR-15s, I doubt they coming from Venezuela. I seriously doubt the kind of hardware these fellas have. Somebody is importing that deliberately to arm these gangs. Somebody is funding violence and organized crime in this country. Somebody is doing that. Is it Libya? Is it Iraq? Is it ISIS? Is it Russia? Is it America? Is it Colombia? Is it Mexico? Or is it somewhere closer to home? Is it business interests in Trinidad and Tobago that benefiting from gang warfare? Because I just watch business communities in this country benefit from a flood disaster. And we have all kind of evil in this 2x4 land, you know. We have all kind of nastiness here. Don't mistake that. My problem is this. I watch them send about 10 jeep to lock up Ram Logan. Now if you know Anand Ram Logan, he can't walk fast, much less run. He getting round. He junksy. He can't walk fast, much less run. You gotta give him a head start and still catch him. We send 10 police 10 jeep of police for Anna. Whatever the policy, the protocol, because there are people who tell me, you don't know law enforcement protocol. Hey, slow your roll, stay in your lane. If that is law enforcement policy, it might need a tweak. It might need an adjust. Because it doesn't seem to make sense. The Express newspaper sent out a picture of the house that allegedly, the alleged shooters were allegedly shot by the alleged police, allegedly last night. Now when you look at that house and you see what we're talking about, you could have really just, even if they open fire, now you have reason to take them down because now they fire on police. So even if you had come there for something different, this is a different charge. This is attempted murder of law enforcement personnel doing their job. So now, call for backup. We in Chumakak. And they open fire. We suppressing the doors and we keeping them locked. Throw a helicopter in the sky, light it up like daylight, give me about 4 jeep load, send in the army, because you know we have army, police, interagency, yeah, send in the army with us. There we go. Let me take the house apart and lock up all 5 of them. But we didn't do that. And the problem is that all the things that people say that not working in Trinidad and Tobago, they're not lying. And there will be an investigation into this. But I don't know if that investigation will be now, in 10 months, or in 10 years. And I don't know if it's a jury or something like a group of people, or if it is just a coroner's inquest. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be done. I don't want to cast aspersions. And I want to say this again. I am the #1 defender of good and honest, decent police officers. I have been for a long time. And I always say these people get up every day and go out there to put their lives in harm's way for other people. I have plenty of police officers who are friends who I know who are good and decent people. Cathy Joseph telling me things happen too fast for that. Cathy, I want you to know that I know some things because I know them. And 20 rounds of ammunition and a pistol going to end. It could end. No, still. And I want to say this. I want to contradict myself and say this. If you open fire on police, end you. And watching that shot, them can't know who inside of it and what kind of firepower they have. Because police seeing these same stunters posing with the AR-15 for Facebook, so they're seeing that they could be expecting heavy duty firepower coming through there. There are a lot of things in the thing that don't make sense. There are a lot of things in it that don't make sense. But I want to step back from all of it, and say this. Everything could fix. I want to know that we have in Trinidad and Tobago an internal affairs unit that could investigate the officers involved in that situation and come out in support of them and say it was a good kill. And all of we on this side of the fence, we can't know what it is like to stand up in Chumakak, going to serve a search warrant and get fired upon. We cannot know. I say that because you cannot know what you're facing inside of there. So it's easy to be judge and jury because you're not there. And I could imagine what it must be like to be a police officer being fired upon. That you now have a commissioner of police that says, if they fire upon you, kill them dead, is the correct position to take. I just want to make sure that the information that we're getting is factual information. A way to do that, maybe body cams. Maybe we don't want body cams in a firefight. I don't know. But I trust Gary Griffith. And at the end of the conversation, as upset as I am, the 5 people there, they only find 2 guns. It's easy to say that after the fact. It's easy to say that after the fact. It had to come down to, I don't trust Keith Rowley. I don't trust Keith Rowley further than I could pick him up and throw him. I assume that every time his lips move in, he lying. But I trust Gary Griffin. And I think that that's the only advantage we have in the conversation. What I don't want is an escalation of force. We need to fix the problem. Job 1 should be secure the nation's borders. Secure the borders. And everybody who was calling for a return of the firing squad have no idea how dangerous that could be. We need to secure the nation's borders. We need to secure the nation's borders. We need to secure the nation's borders. And this, which is a big secret that I'm about to give you all for the first time, so you could tell all your political friends, this one is the solution to all the crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Secure the nation's borders. As long as you could jump in your expensive yacht, I ain't even dealing with Black Hen Chicken tonight. As long as you could jump in your expensive yacht and yacht club and drive down to Venezuela and drive back with a shipment of AK-47 and nobody checking. Nobody checking in your expensive yacht. You coming off your yacht and you park up and fix your business. We have no security for the nation's borders. We have boats and marine craft moving between Trinidad and all these destinations. And a lot of these destinations specialize in drugs and criminality. Secure the borders. Secure the borders. Secure the borders. You cannot tell me that you're serious about fighting crime if you're not securing the borders. Securing the borders will end the gun trade, the drug trade, the human trafficking trade, the donkey and cow trade. That you want to laugh at. They're smuggling donkey and cow into Trinidad now. And all it takes is one with a Venezuelan disease to infect and wipe out all the cows and all the cattle in Trinidad and Tobago. All. Any fisherman could jump in his pirogue and go and bring back anything. Motor up the Caribbean, offload it on the highway. We don't check nothing. The Prime Minister told this nation 40% of the shipping containers that come into this country are not checked on the boat. After you secure the borders, you have to move the port of Port of Spain because it serves no purpose being in Port of Spain. And you need to move it to a facility about 10 times as large. And you need to unstuff every container that comes in Trinidad and Tobago. Open and look in every pack of tires. Look inside every washing machine. Open every fridge. Unravel the bolts of cloth until you get to the thing in the center of the cloth and open that to make sure that ain't stuffed with cocaine. You are on guns. You have to move, you have to open and unstuff every container because this is a drug trafficker's paradise. And until we fix that, we're not serious about fighting crime. Secure the borders, unstuff the containers, so that when you know that it is impossible for guns to come in the country, give the police officers $1,000 bonus, $2,000. $2,000. So it work out to more than renting any gun. $2,000 to find and bring in. And I tell you this. Give a police officer $2,000 on every illegal gun they bring in to destroy. The Prime Minister said there are 30,000 illegal guns, that's $60 million. We can afford that. We can easily spend $60 million to take all the illegal guns out of the country. We could do that. Mark Phillip, you're correct. But if you secure any borders 3 miles out at sea, if you create a maritime security wall, as we all know needs to be done, that every ship that comes in, every boat that comes in the country has to cross into that line and be searched, then you can go anywhere else. Del Blas say, sounds good in theory, but ... Put something after the ... dots. Don't just come on the wall and stunt. These are real, practical, workable solutions I have seen. There are people on this live right now who are involved in internal affairs in New York City. My information is sound and factual information. If we secure the borders with a virtual maritime security wall in Trinidad and Tobago, it will end. You can't drive a boat into New York City just so. You can't drive a... And this was going to tell you, Teresa, when you raise that point. Any police officer, because they have a lot of good, law-abiding, decent police officers, a lot, I think they outnumber the criminals. And give them motivation, internal affairs. Set up a proper internal affairs division inside the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and purge the corrupt. You cannot get at this without fixing all the broken pieces. Internal affairs, secure the borders, unstuff the containers, incentivize and motivate the police officers, get them a training academy, polygraph and drug testing randomly. We need all of these things to work in harmony, and then that is all pepper, give them some money. A properly funded social development ministry to make sure that there are more jobs in this country than there are people. And that is the easiest piece of the puzzle. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Them in the bribe business. That is why China is the only people that get into Phoenix Industrial Park. Because China willing to bribe anybody. Any politician, anybody in a public office, we just want our foot in your country. China right now is like an infection on the world. And them just trying to get onto the host. Once they get onto the host, it could grow. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. But we could fix everything about this country. You can't fix the police service and secure the borders and incentivize the police and put a bounty on the illegal guns. You can't do all of that if your court system taking 25 years to try a matter. You have to put a timer on every matter. You have to put a clock on every case. 3 years for civil matters, 5 years for criminal matters. If the case takes longer than that, if a criminal matter takes 1 day longer than 5 years, throw the matter, let the person go free. But every time a judge fails to keep his case, because case management is the judge's responsibility, every time the judge fails to keep the case within that stipulated 5-year, 3-year time, get them a bad mark on their matter, on their record. And at the end of the year, when you're identifying who's staying judge and who being removed, remove those who failed keeping their cases within stipulated time. So now judges motivated, the system working, moving through here. You have a dedicated gun and drug court to deal with just those matters. So you don't have to lock down town like they did today again and cause chaos and drama. When you could put that court in the jail, inside the jail, or next door to the jail. Right there. Secure that. Secure that. All of a sudden it's making sense. When you have to move these criminals from a jail to a court in Port of Spain, all along the way is a risk. All of us just watch the TV shows. People tell me, Philip, since Queen of the South and Narcos and Escobar and them shows come out, I starting to understand Trinidad and Tobago better. Things making sense. Because people that didn't have what they shouldn't have now all of a sudden have and more. It don't make sense. But why don't we just fix it? Because we could fix the police service and we could fix the court system and we could secure this nation's borders. So why don't we fix it? Why don't we fix it? Somebody sent me this thing today that says, vote as if your life depended upon it. Because it does. Vote as if you had no job. Vote as if you was living in Laventille tonight, through my cat. Vote as if you was raising 5 children in Beetham or Sealots tonight. Vote as if you are a single mother living in Westmoreland and every night you go to bed you're living in fear. Vote as if you living in Cocorito, Abipujaro, Big Yard, or Hardin Place, or Enterprise, or River Estate, or Patna. Vote as if you live in there and you can't put your address down on an application form at Pizza Boys because they're hiring that. Vote as if you never have water in your taps for weeks on end and frustrated buying blue waters, bottled water to flush the toilet. Vote as if every time you get into your car, you are worried that you don't make it back home safe. Vote as if every single road in this country was riddled with potholes. Vote as if you don't trust police and you don't trust bandits and you don't know who to trust. Vote as if you're living in a country where the entire media is corrupt and you can't trust them to give you real journalism, and everything they say you're taking it with a handful of salt. Vote as if the public service in Trinidad and Tobago is in full collapse. Vote as if you're living in a country where they have court cases for breaking and entry that could take 25 years. Vote as if you're living in a nation where you are uncertain today for tomorrow what the economy will be like. Vote as if you're living in a country where the government is guilty of engaging in corrupt conspiracy at every single time. Be it Piarco, be it Udicot, be it AV Oil, be it Caroni, be it the Caroni Racing Complex, be it any of those things and more. Vote as if you're living in a country where each political party that come and go leave with its own rogue to add to the rogues gallery. Vote as if you're living in a country where the banks don't work for the people, where you don't get interest on your money and you can't get US if you're in business. Vote as if you're living in a country where the mortgage rates is 120% the value of the house you buy, and the government coming to tax that house too. Vote as if you are watching corrupt and criminal people engaging in money laundering from corruption in government and through high quality cocaine trafficking, buying up houses 50 and 100 and getting big money for them, driving the price of house outside of your reach. Vote as if you're living in a country where real decent jobs are hard to find and you either have to sleep with the boss to get a secretary work or go and put ham and roast beef in Subway sandwich. Vote as if you're living in a country where nothing works. Vote as if you're living in a country where the ambulance could routinely take more than 2 hours to come to respond to you. Vote as if you're living in a country where if you end up in casualty, you could dead waiting to see a doctor. Vote as if you're living in a country where you see the doctor and you ain't short of dead tonight, but you're dead between now and tomorrow, sitting down on a chair in a hallway waiting to get a bed. Vote as if you're living in a country where you get your bed with the bed soaking wet with piss, but you're thankful because you have something to lie down on. Vote as if you're living in a country where nothing works. Nothing. Vote as if you're living in a country where you go to get your passport and the person tells you it will take 3 months, but you'll get it in 3 days. Talk to me. Vote as if you're living in a country where you pass on little boys driving little P-taxis that are illegal and they bought their license, so you know at some point they're going to kill somebody. Vote as if you're living in a nation where gun easier to get than chicken and chips. Vote as if you're living in a country where the price of food is ridiculous and the Ministry of Agriculture not growing no food at all. Vote as if you're living in a country where the agricultural land being sold to friends and finances of the government for kickback and kick in for them to build cineplexes and strip malls and housing complexes. Vote as if you're living in a country where neither the PNM nor the UNC could be trusted to say a word to you that is true. Vote as if you're living in a country where the Chinese government has used this country as its own money laundry, building stuff in this country we will never need, can never pay for, and have to give up the country's crown jewels to get. Vote as if you're living in a country that for 56 years we've had nothing but failure after failure, a nation divided by race, class, and religion. Vote as if you're living in a country where 400 years of Caroni and Tate and Lyle could have been broken in 5 years of PNM. Vote as if you're living in a country that got $3 trillion from the ground and blew it with nothing to show for it. Vote as if you're living in a country that had to build a car park in town because the last prime minister built buildings in town that he knew, we knew, needed to be built in the center of the island. Vote as if you're living in a country where a flood could happen from a rainstorm that we all knew was coming and grind the entire country to a halt. Vote as if your life depended on it, because I want to tell you something, it does. the sea bridge between Trinidad and Tobago to drive Tobago businesses out of business, and the whole nation sit down and watch the government do that, so that the government can hand the lion's share of Tobago to a corrupt and failing organization named Sandals in exchange for what we can only assume to be grand kickbacks to all of the members of the government, because nothing else justifies the foolishness that is the romp that this government is on, trying to force Sandals down this nation's throat through a secret deal that when we mark bus and we find out, they done gone with everything.
If it is that who you're voting, baby, on the doubt. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the movement to be your people out.
When you're voting,
Vote them out. Vote them out.
vote as if you're living in a country where the government could tell you that public health good, but not good enough for public officers. Vote as if you're living in a country where the Prime Minister could illegally and criminally take millions of dollars from the public treasury to invest in the medical bills of a member of parliament, some say related to him, that he is not entitled to take. Vote as if you're living in a country where the cabinet routinely engages in that kind of criminal conspiracy, and there is nobody, nowhere doing anything about it.
If it is the time is now that change come about, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stick your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total skull and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power. Terminate the rain. Let's put our country together again. If a 30 years
You're voting them in, and it's only tears as soon as they win.
they give you big words,
That enslaves your soul, promising you roads.
and giving bubbles.
Vote as if you send your children to school today, this morning, and there are no security officers by the gates to prevent the average person walking into that school and kidnapping your child. Vote as if you sent your children to school this morning, to a school that have no security officers by the gate, checking the school bags of other children who coming into the school, and one of them could be outraged or having a mental breakdown and kill your child. Vote as if you are living in a country that has a two-tiered education system: privilege, prestige, and also rank. Vote as if you're living in a country where the people don't understand that the children in the also ran education system going to grow up and pose with AR-15 to rob the people in the prestige school. Vote as if you're living in a nation where people don't understand that all of these are critical decisions to the long-term development of Trinidad and Tobago, and if we do not address them, we're going to end up a failed nation.
If they are the reason why the economy goes round, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passy laws that them alone can block, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
Imagine a 15-year-old Keith Rowley. Imagine this in another version of reality. Imagine a 15-year-old Keith Rowley was lineman by some friends in Chumakak, and one or two of them is some real jackass. And you know that because all of we line with jackass in real life. When we was growing up, name boy job is to test the limits of society. We've done that. Test family, test rules, test regulations. That's what boys do. Imagine a 15-year-old Keith Rowley being in Chumakak in that house last night and get blowy for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
If it is the building I saw, east, west, north, and south, the same way you vote them in,
country where the Minister of Agriculture knows, because he and I spoke about this when he was just nothing, when the UNC was in office, and they wasn't taking this on because I came up with this idea under Manning, and Manning didn't want to do it. Neither Pandey, neither Kamala, and now not Rowley. Clarence Rambarat is the Minister of Agriculture. Vote as if you're living in a country where if they planted 1 million trees, now fruit trees, on all the green space throughout the country so that people could benefit from food and fruits, even if you're unemployed and hungry, the impact that that would have on the price of food in this country. Vote as if you're living in a nation that has no food policy. Vote as if you're living in a country that is run by people who don't understand that food independence is the only independence that matters in this world. Vote as if you're living in a country where the government doesn't understand that who controls your food supply controls you. Vote as if you're living in a country where the Prime Minister and his cabinet doesn't have to care about that because they done set for life, and after the shit hit the fan, they have somewhere else to go. Vote as if you want plans, programs, and policies that fixes this nation. Vote as if you wanted to decentralize WASA, broken up into 41 smaller water maker, water sourcer, water distribution companies, process and distribute 24/7 on a profitability footing. Vote as if you wanted a country where the price of food was dropping daily. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where the government's main focus was that anybody who wanted a job could have one, and anybody who had a job and wanted to own a home could as well. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where the price of houses were reduced through the government targeting smallest people in society, the lowest rung of society, the people most in need. Vote as if you want to live in a country where the minimum wage earner could have access to owning a starter home, to put something aside for their children when they shuffle off this mortal coil. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where the government understood that like a rising tide lifts all boats, it is the function of government to see after the well-being of all of the citizens. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where poverty and hunger and homelessness was no longer an acceptable reality in the nation. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where all of those criminals who took advantage of public office, who misused public office to their own advantage and to the criminal enrichment of themselves and their friends, are brought to justice. Vote as if you wanted a better nation.
If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, move them on, move them on. If it is that frustration that's make you want to shout, when you're voting, move them on, move them on. Before they misuse of teapots and loud and mix up, if it's you who voted in, move them on. Register and
wanted to live in a country where an animal bill of rights became law that protected all animals, farm, domestic, and wild, from neglect or abuse. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where the environment is respected, where a 50-50 green space rule became law, where it was possible for the nation to have as law you cannot remove a tree without permission, and that if you remove that tree, you have to find a way to plant 5 to replace it. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where water management, land use management, spatial development management are all things that made sense, that were based on sound science and not just how it hang and go swing. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country where the sister island, Tobago, is respected and that the unitary state is, so that a brick, a block, and a banana in Trinidad is the same price in Tobago.
Put them out in Scarborough and in Port of Spain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Comodo and in Lagomet. Let's put our country together again. People must come first.
Citizens by right. None of we are worse. Yellow, black, or white. Food, shelter, and clothes. Free movement and speech. A garden that grows. And one law for each. Vote as if you wanted a happy nation. Vote as if you wanted a better nation. Vote as if you wanted a country where every creed and race do in fact find an equal place. Vote as if you wanted the opportunity for this nation to be first world and develop paradise on earth convincingly. Vote as if you could give your children the opportunity to maximize their potential while living right here. Vote as if you could have the Trinidad and Tobago other people know and see that we had the potential to be. Vote as if you wanted to live in a country that lived up to its potential. Vote as if you want to be in a better Trinidad and Tobago where every kid and race do in fact find an equal place. Vote as if you want a better TNT.
If it is that injustice is what they always show, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is that avarice is all they seem to know, when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is their politics,
It's just a puppy show. When elections day come,
all bandits must go. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stay no finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Put them out with total scorn and utter disdain.
let's put our country.
Together again. Put them out of power.
Terminate the reign.
Let's put our country
Together again. It is time to get rid of the vampire system that sucked this nation dry. It is time to fix it. We have the ability, we have the power, we have the opportunity. We just have to want it. All of us listening here tonight, I'll tell you something. I talk to thousands of people every day on social media and hundreds of people in real life. And if what you want is the better nation because you're echoing what I am saying and you're agreeing what the PEP stands for, then more than anything, now is the time for you to evangelize also. Now is the time for you to stand your ground and hold your message. Now is the time for you, when they come at you and tell you all kind of things, ad hominem attacks against members, against me, against to distract and troll and deflect the conversation. Now is the time to say, all that said, let's talk about healthcare, education, food security, water in your taps, national security. Let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about housing. Let's talk about Trinidad and Tobago and how it could be better. Because if we've had 56 years of PNM and UNC and things have gotten progressively worse, what makes you think the PNM and the UNC have the answer or even the inclination to fix Trinidad and Tobago? These are the conversations you need to have. And you need to hold your ground. And you need to stay on message. Refuse the bullshit now. Turn their mirror back on them. It has been 56 years, 42 years of PNM. What is going on in Morvant, Beetham, Laventille, Sealots, River Estate, Patna, Bagatelle, Covey, Rich Plain, Mason, La Puerta, Sanganga, Abipujad, Big Yard, Scorpion, Caranage, Cocorine, Waterhole, Hard in Place. What's going on in Belmont, Gonzales, Never Dirty, Hard Bargain, Beverly Hills? What's going on in Trumacac? What is going on in Enterprise and Embacadero, La Joqueta, Talparo? What is going on in all of these communities that call themselves diehard for this one or that one, and they are the most failed communities in the country? What is going on in Trinidad and Tobago when we just found out today that a 1% financier was responsible for building Greenvale, and that a certain cabinet minister now was the Minister of Housing at the time? Keith Rowley knows. Keith Rowley could answer this question. Keith Rowley could answer the question as to what was the relationship between the PNM and its former health minister, John Rahal, where Greenvale is concerned. Because you sell people a bill of goods. You built a HDC development in a floodplain. Who gave the permission and the approvals for that? Who did the deal for that? How much was paid for that? Because that money have to come back. And all of those people who invested in Greenvale entitled to a full refund. A full refund, if not damages. The truth of the matter is the country is broken by deliberate design to the benefit of those who own and operate the PNM and the UNC. If you cannot see that, if you are incapable of seeing that, you are on the wrong wall, in the wrong conversation. But if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, you have to attack the problem. The squeaky wheel must get the grease. And in our case, the problem, the cancer, the heart attack that killing Trinidad and Tobago is two sides of the same corrupt coin, PNM and UNC. Racist, tribal, divisive politics has gotten us nowhere. UNC for life is debt. PNM for life is debt. We need a country we need a people that understands that uniting ourselves as one people under one flag is the only solution. The only way forward is to end tribal racist politics. The only way forward is to say stop the bullshit, focus on issues. Let us talk water. Let us talk the price of food. Let us talk home ownership. Let us talk security. But security wouldn't matter in a country where all of those other critical issues are addressed. We have poverty in this nation that nobody can explain. When you go Morva, Bitam, Labatel, and Sealots and see how these people have ended up, it is criminal. That is the real crime. Tomorrow at noon at 19 Stanmore Avenue, once again, there is a rally, there's a public meeting, there's a gathering of civic-minded patriots. Tomorrow at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. And no matter what you have going on in life, none of it is more important than you picking up all your friends and family and coming. Because we need to build ourselves into a growing family, a massive movement of people that insist that we want a better nation. And if you want that, if you want a better country for you, yourself, your family, your loved ones, your children, your friends, if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago and you see past the bullshit, join us tomorrow at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come down, bring everybody you know, come and join the conversation, and let us start the journey of building back a better Trinidad and Tobago. Stay safe.